no place like the Qube. Now, family, I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I am not well. I've been fighting a fever all week. I've been fighting bronchitis. I ain't never had bronchitis before, and let me tell you something. I don't want it again, okay? It's been a rough week, y'all. But there is news to share, and I'm only going to do a couple stories, all right? Just a couple. And I want y'all to know, I did look through the survey results, right? And we've made it through all the feedback that had some form of consensus around it, okay? So thank you again for giving your feedback, and I'm looking forward to implementing some of the ideas and really growing the pod. And I can't wait for things to begin to roll out. But once again, thank you, because that listenership survey really helps me to serve this pod and to serve y'all better. You feel me? Now, next thing, I do want to continue to invite you to drop me a queer news tip, okay? The queer news tip line is open. It stays open. A link is in the show notes. I want to report on stories that don't make the news, that don't make a blog, because there are so many things happening locally, especially good news, good queer news, and I want to amplify them here, okay? Now, QCrew, I'm sorry I forgot to drop the Juju interview last week. I started not to feel well on Sunday last week, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. So catch it tomorrow, okay? Juju Bay is an Ocean priest, a podcaster, spiritual advisor, a community friend. She is currently starring in Hulu's series Living for the Dead, where a group of queers get together and help the living by healing the dead. Juju is their resident witch, and she's absolutely a fabulous human being. And we had a wonderful conversation about her journey and her new book, The Book of Juju, okay, which is set to drop in spring of this year. So I hope y'all really enjoy our chat. I promise I won't forget it this time. And now, if you don't know what the QCrew is, right, they help to supplement the cost of this pod. I mean, it literally starts at $5 a month, which is like a coffee, maybe a tea, maybe whatever guilty pleasure you got. But it helps to supplement the cost of this pod. So if you believe in the work we do, if you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, if you love and respect how I report on the news and tell our stories, join the QCrew, all right? A link is in the show notes. All right, now for the news. There's just two stories, and I kept all my energy to be able to share these two stories with y'all, okay? One is that we will remember Righteous Torrence Chevy Hill. Chevy was a Black trans man who was murdered in Atlanta. The second story is about the Oscars. By the time this podcast dropped, the Oscars would have been over. But while I'm recording, they're happening right now. So let's talk about how the queers are showing up at the Oscars this year. Let's go. Righteous Torrence Chevy Hill. We speak your name today. It's been reported that Chevy, a 35-year-old Black trans man, was murdered in Atlanta on February 29th. I did a little digging and came upon Kailara's Bringing You Cold Cases Twitter page, where they posted an article coming out of East Point about a man being shot in his yard by a family member. They claim that this seems to align with Chevy's passing. There is no clear connection just yet, as the family and the police have been pretty hush-hush about the details around how Chevy was murdered. So we don't really have any confirmations at this time about why it happened, who did it, the status of the investigation, nothing. But there are things we do know. Chevy was a special member of the Atlanta community because he owned what he coined as the first and only LGBT beauty bar called Evolutions. Now, Evolutions is a safe haven Chevy started where LGBTQ folks could come, get their hair cut, they can get their hair done, get their braids done, nails done in an LGBTQ safe environment. And growing up, in Black communities, the barbershop is another cornerstone of our lives. And it's a place of great debate, great community, and it is not always a safe place for queer folks to live and exist. And so Chevy creating this environment for queer folks to get their hair done and be themselves and show up in the world how they want to show up, it's pretty important. On March 3rd, Evolutions made a statement on Facebook saying, "The kind words and shared memories makes our hearts smile and eases our pain. We know the awesome person Righteous was, but seeing the place he holds in you guys' heart brings us some joy in our difficult days." A Black trans advocacy organization in Atlanta, Solutions Not Punishment Collaborative, known as SNAPCO, they said this: "He sought to create a safe haven where the barbershop experience transcended into a space of safety and affirmation for young Black queer individuals." The homegoing services for Chevy are set to take place on Monday, and our prayers are with those that love Chevy the most and the community that he served. I hope there's an opportunity for the shop to remain open. I hope there's an opportunity for someone else to be inspired by the work Chevy was doing and to create their own space similar to Evolutions. We need our spaces, and we need our community. Chevy, we speak your name today. And for our last story in culture and entertainment, I had to talk about the Oscars, right? Because queer history was made at the 96th Annual Academy Awards in Hollywood. Colman Domingo being nominated for Best Actor for Rustin, and Jodie Foster being nominated for Best Supporting Actress in Nyad. It marks the first time ever in history that two queer actors are actually being nominated for queer roles. Because we know the queers been acting, okay? The queers have won awards, absolutely. But oftentimes, queer folk weren't playing queer folks. And in this case, they are. Have you seen Rustin? If not, do yourself a favor, okay? Bayard Rustin is one of the icons of the civil rights movement. He was the architect of the March on Washington. Bayard Rustin is someone all of us should know. And then for Jodie Foster to be nominated for Best Supporting Actress in Nyad, Diana Nyad swimming from Cuba to Florida at 64 years old for over 50-something hours. And this wasn't her first attempt, second attempt, third attempt. No, it wasn't even her fourth attempt. It was her fifth attempt to swim from Cuba to Florida. That is absolutely incredible. And so for that to be the film that gets Jodie Foster a nomination, it's pretty awesome. Because these are two historical figures that everybody should know. And now it's part of the record. It's part of the canon. And we know how important that is. Representation is important. Telling our stories is important. When the politics of the world is trying to erase our very humanity, it is culture, it is entertainment that continues to remind everybody that we aren't going anywhere. Now, family, y'all know I always end the podcast with a word because Anna's got a word. And my word for y'all today is take care of your health. Child, take care of your health. Boost up your immune systems, okay? Take all the vitamin C you got. You got your regimen of vitamins working on your behalf. I'm telling you, I don't want nothing to do with this ever again. And I hope that y'all take care of yourselves, okay? That's my word for today, and I'm going to lay it down. I'm hoping I got energy to see y'all on the internet this week because I sure didn't see y'all last week, okay? Now you take good care of yourself. Till next week. Peace. If you've enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna DeShawn. Podcast editing by Ryan Woodhall, and brought to you by E3 Radio and distributed on the Qube. We are Queer News Done Right.